audio clips from oblivion, but a new one has turned up on Islamist websites, and it's quite a rant. For 22 minutes, the al-Qaeda figurehead demands holy war against Israel's war in Gaza and celebrates the U.S. economic meltdown. Take a listen.
America won't be able to carry on its war against us for several decades longer. Reports indicate that 75% of Americans are happy to see the current president leave office because he dragged them into unnecessary wars and drowned them into a financial abyss. Bush leaves his successor with the worst inheritance: 2 long guerrilla wars and no options. He either withdraws and faces military defeat, or carries on the fight and drowns his nation in financial trouble.
All right, so here's what we want to know now. Is Osama bin Laden still relevant? Is he still a leading force in global terror? If not, it doesn't really matter where he is or whether he's dead or alive. If he is relevant, what's next in the search? President-elect Obama has long accused the Bush administration of skimping on the search for bin Laden to carry out the war in Iraq. Now, to one degree or another, Osama bin Laden has been a U.S. target since Bill Clinton was president. We do have video that we're going to take a look at back from 2000, and it actually shows bin Laden in the sights of a U.S. military spy plane, which leads to the question, why didn't President Clinton execute that order to take him out then just a year before the 9/11 attacks? Because now the world's most wanted terrorist is still alive, and he's still head of al-Qaeda, and the Bush administration had him trapped during the invasion of Afghanistan. What happened? Each time he slipped away. Joining us on the phone to talk about all this and bin Laden's latest audio tape message, CNN contributor and terrorism expert Fran Townsend. Fran, you know, it's so hard to swallow the fact that President Clinton had an opportunity to take Osama bin Laden out. We've seen the video exists. We see him in the sights of the spy plane. And it's hard to really kind of contemplate what life would have been like if he would have been taken out. There wouldn't have been a 9/11.
Well, that's right, Kira. It's good to be with you. I'll tell you, it's frustrating. Imagine the frustration for the hundreds and thousands of folks who lost a loved one on 9/11. But I will tell you, you know, the world changed on 9/11, and the whole country, including the administration, wound up with a different perspective on just how deadly the terrorist threat was. And so, I mean, I think this is a continuing frustration, not only for former Clinton administration officials, and I served in that administration, but Bush administration officials as well. And unfortunately, I think that it'll be a high priority for the incoming administration. But this is a very difficult search. We believe that, you know, terrorism experts believe that bin Laden is in the tribal areas between Pakistan and Afghanistan, which has been an ungoverned space going back to Alexander the Great. You know, there's a sovereign line there, the Durrand line, that's not recognized by anyone except the government of Pakistan. And it's very difficult for the Pakistani government, much less American officials, to get up there and really do have this search on the ground with people. They don't welcome outsiders, and it's difficult territory in addition.
So, Fran, I mean, you were a security advisor to the Bush administration. So knowing what you know about intelligence and about Osama bin Laden and the search for Osama bin Laden, do you think now, if Barack Obama has a chance to take out bin Laden, actually get him in the sights of a military aircraft, will he order, yes, take the shot, take him out no matter what?
Well, look, I think the current president, President Bush, would do that if he had the opportunity, and I believe that President-elect Obama will do it. The question, you know, there's a bunch, it's never that easy. You wind up with how many civilian casualties will there be? How certain are you that the intelligence, even imagery, you've got the right guy? It's not somebody else who just looks like him. What will the consequences be? Will you potentially tumble the government, the democratically elected government of Pakistan? What will the impact be on the stability of Afghanistan? There are a number of questions that policymakers have got to ask, other than just the simple yes or no, take it out. But I do believe that if there is a good shot and the intelligence is solid, and we've seen instances where intelligence has not been so good, but if the intelligence is solid, I think any sitting president would order that shot.
Well, let's hope that that does happen, and sooner the better.
Absolutely.
Fran Townsend, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Sure, bye-bye.
Well, here with me now on some more insight on what's believed to be bin Laden's latest audio tape message, CNN senior editor for Arab Affairs, Octavia Nasser. And let me ask you, bin Laden, how How crucial is he within Al-Qaeda right now? Is he really leading Al-Qaeda? Is he the leader? Is he the one that everyone is looking to when it comes to carrying out any type of terrorist activity at this point?
Well, you know, he is still the leader of Al-Qaeda. That's very important. He's still the leader of Al-Qaeda. His number two man, Ayman al-Zawahiri, is still at large. They're both still leading Al-Qaeda. What changed is that Al-Qaeda itself is not the Al-Qaeda that we've known in '98, for example, when the attacks on the U.S. embassies were carried out in Africa. It's not the same Al-Qaeda that also carried out 9/11. So Al-Qaeda itself is now more of a franchise. Any little neighborhood can have a mini Al-Qaeda. They can go out and attack and basically claim a responsibility to Al-Qaeda because they pledged allegiance to Bin Laden and others. So he remains the leader of Al-Qaeda. What changed is his relevance. While he is not relevant in the sense that he's not ordering the shots, he's not ordering attacks, he's not the mastermind of attacks, he's symbolically important and relevant. And that's what we get when we watch, for example, this audio message that came in on radical Islamist websites. You see people join in, they start cheering him on, and basically if his message is to recruit people to go kill themselves and perform jihad, the holy war, against the crusaders, what they call the crusaders, and anyone who aids them in the region, they're following his orders and doing as he says. So symbolically, yes, he is relevant, experts say, but as far as attacks are concerned, can this man right now with this message send a signal for an attack? Experts tell us that is not the case.
So it's not necessarily that that he is leading Al-Qaeda and leading attacks. This is basically the Bin Laden inspirational audio tape for all terrorists.
It is propaganda. It is meant as propaganda. He basically is not calling for any attacks. He's saying people should be performing their duty of holy war to defend Gaza. He also boasts about his personal achievements and his men's achievement. He does give a clear indication that he's alive, that he's well, and that he's well informed about current affairs. He used quotes from Joe Biden to the French President Sarkozy to the some important figures, ministers in Spain and Germany. So basically, he's giving the message that he's alive, he's well, he's informed about current affairs, and he's still at large, which is really the significance of this message. While he might not be significant as an Al-Qaeda leader, the significance is that with all the efforts out there to capture this man or kill him, he's still at large and able to send these messages out.
Octavia, thanks. Well, President-elect Barack Obama has minced no words when talking about Bin Laden. Here's what he said in an interview with Larry King back in August.
If I had actionable intelligence, we would go after Bin Laden.
And bring him back here if possible?
Well, I think that we want to capture him or kill him. And as I've said, as I just said this past weekend, if we captured him, then we would want to put him on trial, and I think he would be deserving of the death penalty.
Now it's your turn. Do you even care if Bin Laden is ever captured? Email us your answers at cnnnewsroom@cnn.com. We'll read some of them in our next hour. Now the transition to power, it's all about change, as you've probably heard, and here's a big